Hi, this is Giovanni Lombardi with Professore.com. Welcome to lesson number 3. But before we proceed to the new subject, we're gonna practice together the progressions we covered in week 1 and week 2. And here they are. C major, A minor, D minor, G7, D major, A major, F major, E major, C7, A7, D7, B7. So I'm gonna put my metronome on and you guys gonna practice with me, okay? And here we go. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and C major, A minor, D minor, G7. One more time, C major, A minor, D minor, G7. Back to C and stop. Okay, very well. Now progression number 2. Get ready. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and D major. To A major. To F major. Slide back, E major. Very good. Again. D major. A major. F major. Slide back, E major. And D. A. F. E major. And 1 and stop. Okay, very well. Progression number 3 now. Get ready. Here we go. And 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and C7. And A7. D7. B7. Back to C7. A7. D7, B7. One more time. C7, A7, D7, B7. And 1 and stop. Okay, you guys, let me turn off the metronome. Now, if you have these progressions done by heart, you're ready to move on to the next subject. So let me get ready and I'll be right with you. Okay, you guys, so far what we've been doing is just this, simple downstrokes. Okay, but there is much more than this in guitar playing. So what I have here on the board is this, a quarter note. A quarter note in music is what we've been playing so far. When you divide a measure in 4 equal beats, each beat is worth 1/4 of the whole measure, okay? So those downstrokes are represented by a quarter note. And this is the symbol for the downstroke, okay? It's just an M looking sign. Now, if we cut a quarter note in half, we're gonna get 2 8 notes. An 8th note is actually played either with a downstroke or with an upstroke. And this is the sign for the upstroke, a V-looking sign. So now, when you count the beat, you have to think this way. My hand is going down, I'm playing a downstroke. Now, I need to bring my hand up again in order to play another downstroke. When you do that motion of bringing your hand up, you play the strings as well, because when you divide a quarter note in a half, you have 2 eighth notes. So let me put my metronome on. If this is my beat and I'm playing quarter notes, I'm doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I cut that beat, each one of those beats in a half, I have 2 strokes, a downstroke and an upstroke. An easy way to count the eighth note is this. And 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Basically, what you do when you bring your hand up, you hit the strings, and that is still part of each individual beat. So beat number 1 would be 1 and, then beat number 2 would be 2 and, beat number 3, 3 and, beat number 4, 4 and. Okay, this 7 looking sign here is an 8 note rest, okay? It means not to hit the strings. Actually, a rest in music is a moment of silence. So if your strumming pattern has, for instance, a quarter note followed by 2 eighth notes, followed by an 8th note rest, it will sound like this. 1, 2, and rest, and 3, and. Okay, I will write on the board this specific strumming pattern so you can see how it looks like, and you can practice that with me. Okay, let me get ready. I'll be right back with you. Okay, you guys, so the example we have here on the screen is made by a quarter note followed by 2 eighth notes, an 8th note rest right on the downbeat of beat number 3, followed by an 8th note, followed by a quarter note. Those numbers are representing the beats. And you can see how the strum, the downstroke, is always matching the count. So what you have here is a broken downstroke line or downstroke symbols. It means it's just an indication for you that is telling you to keep moving your hand in the fashion of a downstroke, but without hitting the strings. Now, you also should manage to choke the sound of the strings. And you can do that different ways. One way of doing it is to simply release the pressure of your left hand fingers. By doing so, you will kill the sound. An example. See? I'm releasing the pressure and somehow touching the other strings, the one that they're not covered by my fingers. So I'm choking the sound. So let me put my metronome on and let me play this strumming pattern for you so you hear how it's supposed to sound. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and down, down, up, rest, up, down. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Down, down, up, rest, up, down. Down, down, up, rest, up, down. Okay. Of course, it will take some practice because you need to develop a right hand, left hand coordination. But it's important that you never stop your right hand. Your right hand needs to keep moving, okay? That's the key. Like a clock swing, if you like. This is what your right hand does. So you hit the strings where you're supposed to, according to the strumming pattern, and you don't hit the strings where you're not supposed to, like when you see a rest. I'm gonna use this type of visual language to give you the strumming patterns for the following section for this program, okay? So let me get ready for you, and I'm going to be playing some of the progressions we did in the previous lessons with the strumming pattern, so you'll hear how they sound like. Okay guys, so this is progression number 1, okay? And underneath I wrote the strumming pattern. Now you're going to be playing this strumming pattern for every chord of the progression. This percent looking sign in music means simile. It's an Italian word that means similar. So you will play the same strumming pattern for every chord of the progression. Okay, so I'm going to be playing with you this chord progression so you can practice with me. But your homework, what I want you to get ready for the next lesson, is going to be to be able to practice the 3 chord progressions that you already have with this strumming pattern. Okay, now things are getting a bit more complicated here, but as I told you at the very beginning, you have to practice. That's the key to success. Okay, so let me put the metronome on and we'll play progression number 1 together. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and down, 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 and change. A minor, D minor, G7. One more time. And 1 and stop. Okay, you guys. So you should be able to do this with the 3 chord progression I gave you, as I told you before, and that is your homework. Practice, get ready, and I'll see you for the next section. This is Giovanni Lombardi with Professorate.com.